Hi, I'm Adi,
And I am Johan.
and I'm a programmer trainer and coach.
I'm a technical coach.
And today we will talk about cognitive biases.
Indeed. And the one we choose for this one is the blind spot bias. So the blind spot bias is the failing to recognize your own cognitive biases in itself. People notice cognitive and motivational biases much more in others than themselves, except for me.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's the same.
Indeed.
So, how is this affecting us? Why is this bad?
Why is this bad? Well, I mean, you're not lucid on your own irrationality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that sooner or later leads to bad evaluations. I might have the impression that I'm a rational being, and the other ones are very irrational, and that can be a very strong belief in me.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And I think it's in my view, this is starting to get worse while you age, because I think it's more difficult to recognize, in fact, the biases, and you start thinking more and more than you're right.
Yeah, perhaps. Unless as you age, you learn about biases.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So you need to self-educate or help someone educate you about this, right?
Yeah. I definitely know now. I don't know all my biases. I don't know every time I do a bias, but I'm completely convinced that I'm a thoroughly irrational being, subject to biases all the time, and and so I act accordingly.
And this is the first step to try to fight against the blind spot bias, right? To recognize that we're not fully rational and we are affected by biases.
Yeah. And we're certainly not better than the others.
Yeah. So what example can we have here with the blind spot bias?
I think one example that comes to mind is the user testing. So the idea that when we're developing some software or some product, whatever, we put it in the hands of users so that they will light up our own blind spot regarding this design.
Mm-hmm. I'm especially with very good specialists on narrow domains. Like I worked with banks, and it's interesting that always the subject matter experts think they know exactly what the users need.
Yeah.
And they don't even think that these user tests make sense.
Yeah.
But we need also to think, and I was explaining that the users change and they change their behaviors. The generations change.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, my experience with user testing is that every time I'm so surprised, and everyone is so surprised about the most important things that come out of that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it happen to us as well. It's the same.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing that I learned is that if you're not surprised, it's something weird. You didn't make them well.
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting heuristic.
I don't
if nothing
think
comes out of user testing, then you didn't do it well. Okay.
Yes, I don't think you can do a user interface right from the beginning. That's my thought.
Oh, yeah, that might be true.
Okay, so do we have any conclusion? Yeah. How do we conclude about this?
I don't know, learn about biases and assume yourself subject to bias, and possibly test whenever it's more or less important, right? Test with others, seek feedback.
So feedback is very important.
Yeah, to explicitly find out what kind of biases that I was suffering from and what I missed.
Mm-hmm. So less arrogance and more openness and more feedback, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that, yeah.
Right. Okay, so thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie.